Think that being innocent keeps you out of jail? Think again as you look at that beautiful American flag, and I got one on my shirt too. So we're going to talk about innocence does not keep you out of jail. This morning, welcome. You're listening to the Charles Van Morgan Show. Innocence in a Tennessee courtroom won't keep you out of prison. That's what we're talking about this morning. So Friday we talked about the courthouses, and today we're going to talk about the jails, where you're going to be spending your time. As you see the screenshot, hopefully y'all can hear me. So welcome. You're listening to the Charles Van Morgan Show, live in the morning. We're going to talk about your jail cell that they're building you right now. And if you think innocence is going to keep you out of a Tennessee jail or even American jail, you will be sadly mistaken. Could be very high possibility of that. A lot of innocent people behind bars, and the government tells you, and smart aleck people until they find themselves there say, yeah, everybody in jail says they're innocent. That's what the government says. Yeah, joke's on you, because you're the one saying that. Possibly, if you are, you could be next. The truth is, there is a hell of a lot of innocent people behind bars in a jail cell. They're building a cell for you right now. If you think innocence is going to keep you out of there, you didn't do anything wrong, you fly right, well, that's just not true in any sense of the word. It's not a new phenomenon. If you believe in truth and justice, then you live in the wrong society. You need to go to Mars. You'll probably get more justice there, because you're not going to get any on the planet Earth. Hello. You're not going to get any justice on Earth. You're going to get a jail cell that you pay for. So this morning we're going to talk about jails and prisons. Talk about courthouses just the other day. And today we're going to talk about where these courthouses, these corrupt courthouses, send you to a jail cell. At least you get 3 hots in a cot, right? Yeah, if you get that, if Bubba doesn't steal your food. And prisons and jails are dangerous places. A lot of rapes and murders go on in jails, and you could end up there murdered by another inmate, or maybe a corrections officer, or assaulted, physically beaten, or even sexually assaulted, raped by other inmates or even correctional officers in a jail. A jail is a dangerous place where innocent people pay for their jail cell to go be raped, murdered, and or falsely incarcerated. To a large extent, that is true. Now, I know they don't put that out in the news, and they don't tell you about that story. They want to say that that's a place where people are locked up for your protection and safety, and the government is doing you right. And if you believe that garbage, that baloney, then stay right here, and I'll show you how it's done. That's not the truth. Not in any stretch of the imagination. Now, you're watching Unbridled News, not the trash news that they tell you to keep this facade going. You're watching the real news, the real deal. And if you say you don't know what you're talking about, well, let me tell you a little bit of my credentials, and you put yours up beside them, because people keep getting more votes than me that are, I'll just say it plain out, dumbasses. And then they even go to jail sometimes because how stupid they are. So 18 years in law enforcement as a commissioned officer in the state government, doing the right thing. I didn't do anything wrong. And if I made a decision that turned out later based on new evidence was not correct, I made the right decision at the time, then I made things right. I wasn't trying to throw people in jail, make a name for myself. I treated people right with dignity and respect as far as I could. And I have a Master of Arts in Criminology from the University of Tennessee. Now they just mailed that to me in the mail. I put out a little, paid for it, and they mailed it. I didn't have to go to any classes or anything. They mailed it to me. It's where I can just say that I know about crime and causes, and I can claim that I have expert level, yeah, if you believe that. It took me 2 years of intensive study and writing papers and looking into detail, doing field tests and experiments, and talking with police officers in departments, different views, people that had experience in how things really work, not theory about stuff that really works on the street. So I have a Master of Arts. Even the state government from their state university has said that I have advanced level knowledge in criminology. And even more than that, a lot of it is God-given, uncommon damn sense, because common sense is uncommon, pretty much. So I know what I'm talking about. And also, I've lived a few years of life, seen both sides of the issue, so I have a good grasp on reality, and you can too. A lot of people know what I know. Never went to college to learn criminology. They learned it from other people and from experiencing stuff themselves. And what I'm saying is not outside the reasonable and what people don't believe. A lot of people believe what I'm saying, and they never went to law school, never got a doctor of jurisprudence, learned the law, because you don't need a law degree. They don't use the law. They do whatever they want to do to get to where they want to go. A lot of times it's lies, deceit, and falsehood. So I know what I'm talking about. Got a lot of life experience and education in the matter. Even from their university say I have an advanced level of knowledge in criminology. So I know what the hell I'm talking about. And I know for a fact, a lot of people in jail are innocent, didn't do anything wrong. The people that sent them there are guilty of heinous crimes, and they're in high places in power and benefit. They get better off in the world, money and otherwise, position and power, by putting you in jail. So there's an incentive while you're innocent. Innocence means nothing to them. A lot of times these wicked people will put you in jail because they like a challenge. The prosecutors put guilty people in jail easily. It's not a problem. There's evidence there. They got you monitored all over the damn place. They did it without the monitors all over the place, without the flock cameras. You think they will have a problem putting guilty people in jail with those flock cameras, cell phones following you? They put guilty people in jail easily. That's not a problem for them. That's mundane. It's like a pro football team playing a pee-wee elementary football team. It gets old and boring and they hate it. They don't care. Those criminals ain't affecting them. They're not killing them in their gated facilities and their gated families, their gated homes, and their gated communities. They don't live in the same community that you live in, I'm telling you. They have their own society in this country, a gated community it's pretty much sovereign law. They don't live in the laws that you live in. They talk about sovereign citizens. They are. People in government power are sovereign citizens. They don't live in the rules that they make for you. They live above them. They're worse than sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizens don't make laws for other people. The sovereign citizens in government power that will put you in jail while you're innocent make laws for you to put you in prison, to lock you up, to control you. This is Charles Van Morgan Unbridled News. If you're just watching, here's some really interesting, brutal truth that will protect you. Because you got to know this stuff. Because if you just go along with the program, you're going to be sitting in a jail cell, not by yourself, with a lot of other people, and Bubba's in there. And I'm saying that funny, but that's the damn truth. It won't be funny when you end up there. This is your warning. I'm sounding the alarm as loud as I can. If you don't listen, hey, that's not my problem. My job, what God's put me on the planet for, is to send out the message. If you think this is a joke, the joke's on you. And Bubba will be there. I damn guarantee you. And he doesn't have no more care for you than the people that put you in there while you're innocent. Innocent, righteous, not guilty, doing right won't stop the government, people in power in the state of Tennessee and all across the United States, from putting your hind end in jail. It won't. It never has. A lot of innocent people behind bars, and I know what I'm talking about. And a lot of you all know exactly what I'm talking about. You're not deceived by these people. What to do about it? Maybe you're kind of wondering, and we're going to talk about that too. I'll tell you what you can do about it. One thing you can do about it is you can listen to me spitting out the truth while I'm in danger. You might not have this again. You might not have somebody that's not afraid to tell the truth. God-given bravery doesn't come from Charles Van Morgan. So I'm fixing to tell you the business. We're going to talk about jails this morning. Now, let me dispel this myth. So if you're getting ready to click, because the next time you wake up, you'll remember that click. Because you might wake up next to Bubba, and he's not doing good things. He's not a good man, and he's in the jail cell with you. They do have some guilty people in the jail cell that will hurt you. And they lock up dangerous people and criminals, and they lock up you right beside them, innocent. And bad stuff happens in their uncontrolled environment. Corrections officers don't control the jail. They don't run the jail. They know they don't run the jail. I worked in a jail. I've got experience working in a dangerous jail. Started out my law enforcement career working in a jail. I didn't run the jail, I knew that. You work there a few days and you figure out, hey, we're not in charge here. We're in charge of keeping them in this box where they commit crimes in this uncontrolled environment, and we just keep it here for as long as we can. Inmates run the jail. Ask any corrections officer. They'll tell you who runs the damn jail. They don't run the jail. Inmates run the damn jail. Criminals run the jail. And the innocent people in there, the government doesn't run the jail. The inmates do. The dirty people in the jail do. Bubba runs the jail. And you'll do whatever Bubba tells you to do. Or his gang of people will force you to do it. Now, I know this stuff's not pretty, but it's stuff you need to know to try to protect you as far as we can, because you're going to end up in a jail cell in America being righteous because of their dirty courts. That's where you end up in a jail cell, because the government will lie on you. That's what their courts are for. Their courts are to rig the truth to get you to jail. You look at Marsha Blackburn. She's gotten political contributions from CoreCivic. CoreCivic gives her money to pass laws when she gets in the governor's office, and she's been in the politics all her life, and she's getting money from CoreCivic. CoreCivic builds your jail cell. So she's getting campaign money to put out a message about her, a good message about her, that sells you on the fact to elect her. But the people paying for that message are people that she's writing laws in their favor to get more money to build bigger and more jail cells for you and or your family and children. So if you don't care about yourself, at least listen for your family. So let's see how many people got in here. Yeah, quite a few. So we're talking about jail, prison, where you're going, and you don't even have to be convicted of a crime. So there's the entourage of the sheriff's department. They're not hiding from me, going to lock somebody up. There's 3 cars, 1 marked and 2 unmarked, going to lock somebody up. They're going to lock somebody up. Are they guilty? Let me say this. And people are going to hate me, I don't care. A lot of people do. It doesn't affect the truth. They're probably innocent. Probably innocent. A trumped up charge that they're going for their boss, who soon to be in a rigged election. I mean, this stuff is real. I know they hide it and cover it up, try to make the nasty smell good, but it doesn't smell good. It's still nasty, and it's still wrong. So 3 deputies going to lock somebody up, probably innocent, probably most likely, if you look at the statistics and odds and probabilities, probably innocent, probably very innocent. And they're going to lock them up, and they'll lock you up. You think you're going to get by with living your life without the government interfering? All you have to do is fly right and obey the law. You know, Joseph in the Bible, this stuff's been going on for centuries. He was doing right. He was solicited by Potiphar's wife to sleep with him. And he told her, how could I do this wickedness? No, that's the king. He's been good to me. I can't do this wickedness against him. And he resisted, these people, he resisted her attempts to get him to commit adultery with her. So he's right. He's righteous. He's righteous. He's being right. And he's trying to tell her, hey, I don't want to do this to your husband. He's been good to me. How could I do this wickedness and sleep with my boss's wife? Now that's prevalent in society, but Joseph he's standing up and he's doing what's right. I'm just telling you the way things go down, not the facade that the government tells you, or the books you read, or the schooling you got, or what maybe some of your parents told you that a lot of you know is wrong, that if you fly right, you'll be all right. This is America, better than any country in the world. While it may be, but that's not saying very much. So if you think for 10 seconds, let me dispel that, get that out of your mind, or it'll be in your mind when you wake up beside Bubba. And Bubba don't do good things. And I'm not saying that funny, I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the honest to God truth. Now I pray about this stuff before I say it. And none of it is extreme or out of bounds at all. It is a warning from God Almighty right out of the pages of the scripture. You're going to end up in jail. You say, no, I'll fly right. I won't do wrong. That's what Joseph did. You think you're better than him? And you end up in jail for being righteous. And that's not the end of the story. But you're a high likelihood of going to jail being righteous. And if you think righteousness, right, law-abiding will keep you out of jail, let me tell you, you may not be interested in war, in fighting the government, in fighting people in power that have invaded our government. They're in government power right now. They're ruling over you, building your jail cell right now. That's something to fear. You don't have to fear me. Now listen to me, I'm telling the truth. Factual, well-educated truth. Now they can commit all the crimes they want to. They ain't going to jail. That's too good for them, they think. That's why they don't like me. Because I'm telling the truth about these thugs that are criminals that are going to put you in jail from the courthouse, and that's where they got a little box for you, put you in jail. That's their end result, their end hope. And if you're not interested in going to war, then let me tell you something. War is interested in you, because you're not going to be able to just fly right, obey the system's rules, and the best you can, and be respectful and kind and Christian And that's not going to get you out of jail. It won't do it. In this society, in this day and time, as has always been, even in Joseph's times, in order to maintain some type of reasonable degree of privacy and protection from the government, you can't just fly right and get by. You have to fight the government. You have to go to war against people in power. Now, I'm not talking about violence. They're violent. That's why you have to go to war against government violence against you by voting and messaging. Help me get this message out. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Keep the message going, the algorithm going. This right now is the main front of the unprovoked war that we're in against people in power in your government in the state of Tennessee. This is ground zero. Now, I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about political warfare, messaging, and protecting ourselves from violent, unlawful aggression by the government that they cover up all the time. All the time they cover up. You got Sharman Tissue Allen right here in this Knox County courthouse that runs interference for government crimes. She wipes them away, clears them, runs interference. So the government here in Knoxville, in the state of Tennessee, and they may lock me up, I don't know, you'll know why. Because I am using my constitutional God-given rights, fighting them peacefully. I'm not threatening to shoot Sharman Tissue Allen. I ask people don't do that. That is wrong. She has a soul. She's got time to repent and make things right. That's her decision, not mine. It doesn't make these people better when you go along with their wrong. Don't tell them they're doing wrong. And that makes them think they're doing right. They need somebody fighting them in order to see the truth. You don't get people to act right by complimenting them. And it's not just acting right they're doing some horrific stuff against you, running interference, and she would, and for all I know she has, against murders, government murders. They wear a badge and a gun, they can murder you, and she will say it is justified. Now in some cases it is, in some cases it's not, but they get justified all the time. And whether it's true or not, we don't know. You won't hear it from her. You'll hear the official government Potiphar's wife lie a lot of times. Not the truth, because her job is to run interference for the government and governor to keep them in power, regardless of what actually went down on the street. Now, I'm not saying that from just reading books. I've met her. I know how she is. Very dirty woman, nasty, stingy woman. I've met her. You know, I worked around her for the better part of 18 years in that nasty courthouse. She once told me, when I was trying to protect society from dangerous people that won't go because they're lawyers' kids or something important, you can't put them in jail. They don't go to jail. They get out here on the highways and kill you, and they're even dangerous to themselves. She told me that she would that they would tear me a new asshole. That's her words, that coming out of her mouth. Now, when she gets up there clearing an officer of a murder, maybe sometimes, remember, she's tearing you a new asshole. That's what's in her sick mind. Her husband works at another prosecutor's office right down the street. These are people that put you in jail. Do you think you're innocent when you go to jail? Some of them are. A lot of them aren't. They're because Sharman Tissue Allen enjoys putting innocent people behind bars. She's a thick, pathetic lawbreaker herself. That's the truth. Now, let her put me in jail. I think it'd be worse for her if she did. These people trying to make a name for themselves. See, they don't like. That's against the noise order. They don't like freedom of speech. Me speaking against the prosecutor that's going to put their ass in jail. Wow, that's pretty stupid. I mean, you can disagree with all you want to. You're the one that will wish you hadn't. Because I'm telling you, I'm not putting you in jail. I'm not in the government. When I put people in jail when I was in the government, it was people that were dangerous, and I tried to be easy on them. And, you know, I got a right to say this stuff. You don't have to listen. I'm on a public sidewalk. Why would people hate me so much? Because they're sick people, and they think I'm a toy. A lot of people think, oh, he's just a toy. You'll hang around and find out. Hang around and find out. God's hands on me. If you're a Christian, God's hands on you. You're not a toy. And circumstances can be one thing. The truth is another. You know, Joseph said that, and people that write about Joseph, the commentators say, he was in prison for doing right. Better to be in prison for doing right than to be free and be doing wrong. That's what Christians think. So if you're in jail and you're a Christian, God's hands with you even in jail. Keep doing right. Don't let these people buffalo you, intimidate you into going along with their life. It's not right. It's not right to mistreat people, to physically hurt them, kill them, steal from people. That's wrong. It'd be good and a just, fair society fair if we had people in prison that were guilty of those things. We don't. Newsflash, unbridled news. You want to hear this on Channel 10? Or we're being protected by Sharman Tissue Allen from the people that will hurt you. No, you're not. That's a lie, straight from hell. Straight from the woman's mouth that wanted to tear me a new asshole. That's her words, not mine. Somebody that was protecting you from evil people. I did right. And I'll keep doing right. They haven't intimidated me out of doing right. God's on my side. I won't fear what that rogue, vicious, venomous, sick, pathetic, hell-bound liar says about me. I'm not worried about it. She can put me in jail. God will protect me in jail. And if she does, it'll be worse on her if she puts me in jail, because all I'm doing is my constitutional rights, speaking out against people in government power. That's a sacred right in America. That is not in question. We're supposed to have that right to speak out against government officials, to keep them honest. If I'm not telling the truth, she can stand up and say, Charles Van Morgan is lying. I'm an honest person. I never told him I'd tear him a new asshole. She'll probably choke on her own spit saying that, because she knows she's a damn liar. And that's your prosecutor who put you in a jail cell, is a liar, a pathetic, disgusting liar that's over our criminal justice system. It's a criminal justice unsystem. I know for a fact. I didn't read it out of a textbook. Been there, done that. Got put on the street for it, but I'm better off. God's with me. I could have lied and went along with the program, the false, demonic, devilish, demonic program, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Potiphar's wife, no, I'm not doing this wicked. You can do whatever you want. I'm gonna do what lasts eternity. So these wicked people in government power are going to get you, and you may not be interested in fighting them. You may not be interested in war, but as a great Russian revolutionist said, war is interested in you. So you have to fight these people. You can't think that you going without any kind of means of protecting yourself, any kind of knowledge, any kind of fight, and not voting, not standing up against these people, even from behind the scenes. You don't have to be up front. I got that. I mean, I'm pretty out front. And hopefully a lot of eyes looking, a lot of people seeing, a lot of subscribers will make them cautious in going against me, because all I'm doing is using the Constitution, my rights, to speak against them. They can speak against me. They do every day. They do it. They try to act like I mean nothing. And I mean a lot. I'm not bragging on myself. I represent millions and millions of Tennesseans. Millions and millions of Americans is who I represent. Not people in criminals in power. I don't represent them. I'm against them. I am at political warfare with them. It is on. Now they try to make fun of me. I don't mean anything. He's talking silly, conspiracy theorist. He's dumb. He's a fool. He's psychotic. All this stuff to brand me to where people won't pay attention to me. Well, let me lay out the degrees from their universities, where stuff I'm talking about is science. Trust me, I'm completely reasonable, completely sane. I'm just braver than anybody, damn body they've ever seen, because I have a fear for God and a trust in God Almighty. I'm not afraid of these people. That scares the hell out of them. Truthfully, Sharman Tissue Allen is sitting up there at that courthouse, her bony knees banging into each other for fear of Charles Van Morgan. She's scared to death. I can't put him in jail, too many people watching. I've done that before, and he sued us in federal court. Got a lot of haters and a lot of people that love me. And my rights don't end where your hate begins. I can say what I want as long as it's true. I don't incite intimate lawless action. And I don't defame people. I tell the truth. And these people are going to fight you. And they're at war with you. To ignore that will put you right beside Bubba in a jail cell. Being righteous, flying right's not going to help you. Ignoring the problem's not going to help you. This is unbridled news. I tell the truth. Charles Van Morgan. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It will help me stay out of jail. They'll see so many people watching. It'll bring down their little kingdom. If they keep messing around, I'm fighting them. Not with bullets to fire at them out of a Glock, with voters, public attention, knowledge of the truth of what's going on in these what I believe is the very last days of humanity, of Christians on the face of this planet. It is more wicked than it has ever been. People realize that, how wicked it is. Back when I was growing up, a person's word was their oath. If you told a lie, reneged on a contract or agreement, you were hung out. That wasn't a good thing for the most part. Nowadays, it's glorified to lie. And people get benefited more than what they ever did in the history of mankind. These are the wickedest days on the face of the planet. Wickedness is prevalent and praised and uplifted, and they're in our government offices. They're in our government offices. Turn a blind eye to that. It's not at my demise. I'm already in the fight. I don't know what's going on. I got a clear-eyed picture of what the hell's going on and take measures to defend myself. It's not to my demise. They've already punched the hell out of me, and I keep getting back up, and I always will. The only thing they can do to stop me is kill me. And trust me, they might damn sure try. They've already put me in the hospital, so I know I'm clear-eyed about what the hell's going on. And I'm not asking everybody to stand up and fight them in the position that I'm in, which is out front, facing the heat and the damage, and being charismatic and fighting the hell out of these people, not with violence. With attrition means keep going, keep at it. No matter how many people look bad at me, people give me a dirty look and think I'm gonna quit because they don't like what I'm saying. That's about a joke. They're a joke. You know, had a law school student in law school that one of the professors said something that wasn't true in his highness, a former judge, and I disagreed with him. Respectfully. And these people, these judges that put you in jail, have such a high opinion of themselves. While they could never be wrong, when they put you in jail for doing right, they're right. They could never be wrong. And the judge that's with him, his fellow brother judge, you know, they're blood brothers, that worship the hierarchy, that campaign for each other, but you can't campaign against them. And you go in a courtroom and everybody has to stand up for these people. They get to thinking they're better than God. While they are God. Judge McMillan, I'm God. I can say whatever I want to say to citizens. They serve me. I'm a judge. They serve me. I'll put them in jail. I'll threaten jail every day, all day long. You sit down and shut up from telling the truth, you'll go to jail for doing that. That's what he does in this courthouse right down here under Sharman Tissue Allen. That backs that oligarchy up to the hilt. And And people think that I'm going to succumb to peer pressure. I could care if nobody listens to me, and which is not the case. God listens to me, and God influences me. He's influenced me with some scars. Said, man, this stuff's important. Look what they did to you. Warn other people. This is a coming. This is their last stand. So I disagreed with a God judge professor. These professors at the law school I went to were current sitting judges. And they walk in a courtroom, everybody stands up, and everybody stands up before they leave, and they're God Almighty on the face of the planet. Servant, why'd they get that in there? We're not public servants. We're gods. We can put people innocent in jail. We do all the time. You better watch out. You offend me, you'll go to jail. You're friends with one of the elite people in power, commit all kinds of atrocities, steal public money. You're free because I'm a god. It ain't about justice. If you think it's about justice and you look at me like I'm telling something funny, the joke's on you, because they'll get you too. So the joke's on you. I'm even for people that don't like me. If they listen to what I'm got to say, I might help them out, because Bubba's waiting. And you know, hey, they asked for it, they get what they asked for. Some people you can't feel very sorry for because they're so wicked, they fell right into it. I'm talking to the people that realize you don't want this fight, you didn't choose it. But you know you got to. And I'm not asking everybody to stand up and be like me. I'm asking you to support the cause. Even surreptitiously, behind the scenes, nobody has to know that you vote. Voters of truth enraged. And after we get some power to back them off, it'll be voters of truth encouraged. And I'm encouraged today by the high number of views, by the reception I'm getting. I'm encouraged by God. God controls my soul and spirit. If I get upset, I read the book of Psalms and think about the way God's laid things out. There is justice and judgment on the earth, even for the powerful. So I disagreed with one of the God judges in the law school class about something. I even did it respectfully. And one of the students, who's now a lawyer, he goes along with the system, you know, backs up the corruption, backs up the people in power. And I'm telling you, we're at war with the people in power in our government. Now, when we straighten it out a little bit, we won't be at war with the government. We're not actually at war with the government. We're at war with the people in power in our government. It's what we are at war with. So, there's a difference, you know. There's a difference. They have invaded our government, lied to us, and we need to vote them out and get information out about them. I'm speaking about the district attorney, sitting district attorney here in Knoxville, Charmin Tissue Allen. That's pretty brave, isn't it? I double dog dare her to trump up charges against me. If I get to jail and Bubba tries to hurt me, I'll whip his ass in jail. I got a right to defend myself, up to, you know, including as far as I have to go. That's your warning. And you don't have to be out front and take the heat that I'm taking. Be strategic. This is my position. Somebody's got to be out front to drum up support. You can sit in the background and support the movement surreptitiously, talk to your friends, you know, and don't let people that you're in the movement subscribe to the channel. They don't know how many people subscribing or who's subscribing. They watch the views and say, wow. They watch my channel and say, wow, we got to do something. We don't know what it is. There's a tipping point where they'll start making concessions and we can get some things doing right non-violently. Maybe not. Hey, it's however they want to play this little chess game, because I'm on a different board. They're not going to affect me. I've got too many scars that say stand up against them. So join this movement. Help us keep you and your family and your children out of jail, because that's what we're talking about this morning. That's probably, very likely, as you've seen the 3 patrol cars, 1 marked and 2 unmarked, going to arrest somebody. They're not going to hand out flowers, and it's most likely a political enemy of people in power who have invaded our government. That's who they're putting in jail. That's not conspiracy. That is criminology 101. They teach this stuff in their law schools and in their criminology classes. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, almost 400 people. Like, share, and subscribe. We're talking about the metal bars that they're trying to put you in right now, or many of you may be listening from prison. You know you're innocent, but that doesn't matter. You have to fight these people. It's not a fight you chose, but it's a fight you got to do to protect you and your family, because that's where you're going to end up. So they're building jail cells more. CoreCivic, a private corporation, is contributing money to Marsha Blackburn Hughes' campaign, getting a false message out about her, and she will, when she gets in office, continue to make more stricter laws, have more flock cameras, more invasion of your privacy, more protection for them where I can't spread a message and they can spread any damn lie they want to, which they will. And the people that are building these jails are paying her to be able to build more, and it's your money, your tax money, that's paying for your own jail cell. So listen to the show and subscribe. And if you want to be out front, hey, that's fine. If you can take the heat, if you're a fighter like me, let's have at it. We need more people out front. If you want to hide behind the scenes, there's nothing wrong with that. That's strategically correct. So if you're afraid, I get it. Newsflash, there's reason to be. You're not stupid or in fear when there's no monster there. There's a monster there. Let me tell you, it's the biggest monster you ever seen in your life. It's called the government. People in government power. That's the monster, that's the problem. And the monster will put you in jail. The monster is Sharman Tissue Allen. As we look at the angels here on the face of the planet, there are good stuff. These emergency professionals. This is when you need help. Those are angels that come and rescue you when you're helpless. And you'll know what I mean if you ever get in that situation. Now that's what needs to be funded. More medical emergency services and more hospitals. That's what needs to be funded to keep people alive. God's not in the business of death. I'm not in the business of death. I'm in the business of telling people how to stay alive and free, which you're not gonna be if you don't listen to me or somebody that speaks like I do, and I don't know anybody that does it exactly the same. Everybody's got their calling. Mine is to hit them head on and punch them in the damn face, symbolically to stand up against these people. It's called unbridled news. Do what now? I'm doing a YouTube show about the government. You mind if I put you on camera? Yeah. So yeah, here's some fans. Yeah, it's Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News. I'm talking about the prosecutor up here, Sharman Tissue Allen, that wants to put you in jail. So she could put me in jail, but I'm not afraid of her because she's a crook and a criminal. You ever heard anybody say that? Did you hear about the rigged sheriff's election? No. Yeah, where they were committing crimes, stealing your money while they were the sheriff in Knox County. That's what stuff I talk about. I even go down to the courthouse and talk to them right out front there. So yeah, I'm fighting the government peacefully. They want to kill me. I'm saying vote them out of office. So who's right? So yeah, they know who I am. Trust me. Yeah, I'm the state trooper that they hung out and said I was doing something wrong when I was doing right. So yeah, and they'll get you next. God bless you. So yeah, there's a few fans. We'll talk to people. So yeah, that's the reason why we get out here in the public, on the sidewalk. So yeah, this is Unbridled News. I love people, I love the public. I'm trying to protect them. And fighting against the government. They're trying to kill me. I guarantee you, Sharman Tissue Allen, she wants to drill me a new asshole. That's what she said. That's come out of her mouth in that back hallway, you know. So let's put it publicly. That's your prosecutor in the state of Tennessee. She don't want to put guilty people in jail because that's what I was trying to do, to protect people. She wants to drill somebody doing right a new asshole. She wants to, and this ain't about me. It's not. That was then and this is now. She wants to, and I know this is pretty vulgar. Maybe you need to be shocked out of it. Maybe you need to be shocked into the truth, is that she wants to drill you and your little children a new asshole. And those are her vulgar words. I'm just telling you what they say in secret about you, putting it out here in the public. I'm out here fighting against them. Now, I was fighting them. I was fighting them when I was in law enforcement, trying to protect the public, fighting people in the government as diplomatically as possible. The target was dangerous criminals out on the road, to protect themselves and you from them. And I was very good at it. I led the state in protecting people. The fatality rate was lower. That was the target of mine. That's what I do. I'm a fighter. Pretty damn good at it. Led the state for years in arresting people by myself, mostly at night. And they call me a coward. You know, they got some bad data. They got that written down, but that's not reality. There's nothing coward about a serving God. Nothing coward at all. That's what they got backwards. Charles Van Morgan fights back. They don't put that, they put a lie in the paper. So they just changed the damn target to point it directly at them. No, not violently, legally, politically. Change the target directly at them, because I was fighting crime as a commissioned law enforcement officer and not being hard on people. Now they changed the target, and I was good at it then, and they just put the good target, person that's better at it than anybody in the whole state, 900 troopers, wiped them off the planet. No one close to the level of performance that I did as a trooper. Even they admit that. They got rid of the leading trooper that routinely logged more arrests. They say it wasn't just arrest, it was getting dangerous drunk people, protecting them from themselves. So drunk and dangerous, some of them I couldn't protect. They were dangerous to themselves and others. And they hung me out wrongly, because they don't care if people die. And they hung me out wrongly and released drunk drivers, and then blame me for the wickedness they do, like Potiphar's wife. Blame Joseph, for her evil, wicked, wanting to commit adultery on her husband. Blamed him for their evil. So they literally say this. Now you figure this out. This is how easy this is to understand. And I know I got a lot of haters on here. Hate on! Bubba, maybe he'll treat you right. I mean, he's waiting on you, he ain't waiting on me. And if Bubba is there, there's enough in me to fight his ass off. So Bubba's afraid of Charles Van Morgan. That's what God put me on the planet for. There ain't no back down in this fight. It's not gonna happen. There's right in this fight, regardless of what position they put me in. Do you feel giddy? Do you feel the same? If you're on here fighting me, I guarantee you, you're dumb as a doorknob, and Bubba's ready, and he'll overpower your skank ass. So I didn't quit fighting. God just gave me a new target. The target, and they fear me, even if idiots on here don't. They're smart enough to have a healthy fear. They're terrified, I guarantee you they are. And I love every minute of it. They should be. They need to be terrified enough to correct their ways. So I just realigned the target to them. Let's fight them. Leading trooper in the state of Tennessee, more than any trooper in the state protecting people, and they think that I won't protect them, that I won't fight you. And there's another police car. They're all over the place, coming to put innocent people in jail, working for Sharman Tissue Allen. So she thought she would fight me, and that's it, and that I'm a coward. Knowing what I did protecting society, I just changed the target. Now, Sharman Tissue Allen, it's on you. It's on you. Let's see, who made who? Yeah, it's fighting them, and we're gonna fight them. Almost 400 people in here. Let's get the likes and shares up. Great show today. So we're talking about the jail cell that you're gonna go to, 3 hots in a cot, that she's gonna put you in. She's going to clear the person that murdered you, run interference for them, stand up and show her screens and diagrams, and lawyers know how to lie. I mean, is that conspiracy that lawyers are liars? I mean, that's common knowledge. You go in that courthouse and say that, oh, they're the most respected people on the planet in that courthouse over there. But in public, in reality, we know, hey, there's a bunch of damn liars up there. Not every one of them. As a profession, they're liars. The head prosecutor is a head liar that lies for those gods in that courthouse. And they're gods in that courthouse. They control whether you go to jail, whether you keep a job, whether you have your constitutional freedoms. In that kangaroo court, you ever heard that? Now you go in there and say that's a kangaroo court. Oh my gosh, about 5 different deputy sheriffs that get paid, fed off your tax money will clobber you on the floor. How dare you tell the truth in this godforsaken hellhole here? We're gonna put you in the other godforsaken hellhole. It's a prison made for innocent people. We're building jails for innocent people. They don't tell you that. This is unbridled news. This is the real deal. Don't fight it. Hey, you go right ahead. I know how to deal with being in jail. Been there, done that, survived it. I'll survive it again. This ain't about me. This is about you. That's where you're going. Are you ready? Because that's where you're going to end up. It's a mixed up system. Christians, even the Bible says, all the foundations of the earth are out of course. Includes the government. It's out of course. It is rogue as hell. Face up to the truth of reality. If you want justice in that courtroom, you won't get it. Pointing at them. All fingers, and none pointing back at me. If you want justice in that courtroom, you'll get Sharman Tissue Allen, who will run interference for the Knoxville bar. Oh, what a wonderful Knoxville bar. What a joke. Most of them are. Very few attorneys in Knoxville are worth anything. I've had them stand back there in the back hallway and almost threaten to assault me over putting one of their family members in jail, even protecting them. They're the most unrighteous, ungodly thugs probably in the United States of America, the Knoxville bar right here in Knoxville. And if one of the Knoxville lawyers, I'm speaking as a group, there's some of them good, wants to sue me, I'll go to court and we'll argue all day long and bring evidence about how much creeps you all are. If they're sober, they might make it to court. They're a bunch of drunk, druggies, go along with the system, act like they fight for you, and will get you to plead guilty. Out of this courtroom, they'll get you to go to jail. They'll try to talk you into voluntarily going to jail. That's what the system will do. That's what that courthouse is for. Get voluntary compliance and admission of a crime you didn't commit so that they can put you beside Bubba. That's what that courthouse is for. Now this is unbridled news. They won't tell you that. I'll tell you that. Most people know that. You don't have to have a Master of Arts in Criminology or a Doctor of Jurisprudence or lived into your 60s or been in law enforcement 18 years to figure that stuff out. It is common knowledge. I'm just amplifying your voice. And if you don't fight it, it's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. So this is not a fight that you choose. It is a fight they pick on you that you've got to fight them back. Now, bad news, we're not going to win this fight. Ultimately, this planet is corrupt as hell. But in order to have some semblance of rights, and in order, if you're a Christian like me, to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, you gotta fight them back, or you're not being a Christian. You can't go along with the government. I'm not talking about doing anything illegal. I'm talking about if you're a Christian on the face of the planet, and you're not against the people in power in our government, not all of them, most of them, then you're not being a Christian. You're not being a Christian if you're not standing up against evil. And evil, the most powerful evil in the world, yeah, there we go. We got some fans. Is people in power in our government. Bill Clinton said when he won the election, playing on people's greed, it's the economy, stupid, running against George Bush. No, Bill Clinton, the rapist in the White House, in the government, which is what he was, is it's the government, stupid. It's you. It's not the economy. The economy will straighten itself out somewhat if we get the government straightened out. That's the enemy. Don't fight the economy. Fight people in power in the government. Legitimately, peacefully, the voting and information. That will straighten out your pocketbook. You want the economy better? Fight these people in government power. That's who's lowering the economy. They're bloodsuckers, a drain on you. Stop them from building your damn jail cell. That money that builds your jail cell could go into building bigger medical facilities, better educational institutions, some directly job related to keep you employed and prosper in society. These people are leeches. It's the government, stupid. That's what I would tell Bill Clinton. It's not the economy. It's people in government power. As soon as you realize that, we're a step in the right direction. We can correct this stuff out enough to lead enough people to the Lord Jesus Christ, or at least have your freedom and you can worship Buddha if you want to. I'd advise you not to. You're worshiping an idol that in the Bible God made fun of. People pray and they don't do anything. It's a joke. Other religions are false, will lead you to hell. So, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we're going to get into the dialogue about people in government power, how crooked thou art. And they're very crooked. So we got ourselves some new technology, and we'll start right off with Joseph. Now, he was put in jail for doing right, and we're talking about jail. And there's my paper. I think I lost my paper down here. Let's see if we can go get it. If somebody picks it up. Oh, yeah, that's it. Hello, I ain't got this on here. Drop my notes here. No, that ain't my notes. So, yeah, well, it's all right. Got them in my mind. So, let's talk about Joseph, who was put in jail for doing right. But that's all solved. That don't happen anymore. and in the Bible it predicted that things would get better. Did it? No, it said things will get worse and worse. And people, evil will get worse. And that's what it's doing right now, getting worse. So almost 400 people in here. Thank y'all for showing up. Subscribe, help the algorithm. We're talking about the problem in America is the government. It's the government. It's Sharman Tissue Allen here in Knox County. It's the sheriff here in Knox County. And I say this as clearly and nicely as I can. It is a lot the problem in America. The problem in Tennessee. It's not the economy. Like Bill Clinton, this economy's stupid. I mean, listen to a rapist. The economy is a problem because of the government. And I'll say this nicely as I can. But truthfully, the problem in America is a lot of churches, people that claim to be Christian and put out the gospel, that are purporting and facilitating the message of the rogue government from churches. From churches. I'm just telling you, that's the truth. Now, you know, hate me, whatever. I'm just telling you, a lot of churches are responsible for the economy. Even if you're not a Christian, your economy. You want a better economy where you can live better and your children live better on the planet for your life, if that's what you're interested in. It's not the economy, stupid. It's your government. It's the government, stupid. And I'm not calling people stupid. I'm calling people in power and people that vote for these people in power. It's your government, and it is churches, their fault because they fail to fight people in government power. They think it's all right, it's the Christian thing to do. No, it's not. There's innocent people in jail. And they allow false messengers in the churches to spread lies in favor of the government. They're getting along. This is a fight. They're not fighting for you, they're fighting for themselves. Head pastors of some of these churches allow these people, and they say, we'll get along with the government. Well, you get along with them just fine. Have people yelling. You get along with them just fine. The people sitting in your pews are going to jail. You ought to stand up and fight people in government power, honestly, legitimately, justifiably, legally, truthfully. If you're not, you're the problem. You're helping the government. If you're not, stand up against the government. If you're into politics in a church, for the parties, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're facilitating lies, causing part of your congregation to be victimized. You're not fighting a war against the government, then you're wrong. So boy, I got a lot of haters out here. And that's not going to do any good, hopefully. So, even if you go along, you still may end up in jail. We have the story of Joseph in the Bible, and it got better, it's gotten worse, who was wrongly put in jail for doing right. And this is the biblical message, the scientific message, the message, just like gravity. You can call gravity a creation of God, which I believe it was, or you can call gravity a scientific thing. Either way, there's gravity. So if you're a Christian, this is a Christian message. If you believe in science, this is a scientific message. This is just the truth. Either way you look at it. Gravity is real. You think God made it? I do. You're right along. You believe in science? Gravity's still real. So, in the Bible, Joseph was solicited by Potiphar's wife, and she wanted to sleep with him, and he rebuffed her and he did it nicely. I mean, you're not talking about him standing up saying, you're ugly, or doing anything. He told her that, how can I do this evil against the king? So he wasn't being mean to her, he was just telling her he couldn't do that against the king. Now, obviously, she didn't care. And she kept soliciting. And then one day, she solicited him, and he said no, and she grabbed part of his clothes, and he ran off. And he ran off. And she was mad because he rebuffed her. So she hollered and got people to say that he was trying to rape her. So she brought false witness against an innocent person. You think maybe that could still happen today to you? False witness against an innocent person. Joseph's integrity and success, however, attracted the attention of Potiphar's wife. She attempts to seduce him, but Joseph steadfastly refuses her advances, saying, how then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God? So you think that you can do right, and doing right in today's society will land you in jail. They got a jail cell for you. That's the message of today. This is a fight against not being put in jail for doing right. That's unbridled. This is a little different truth, a little different. This is not an angle, this is the truth. Their angle is a lie. There's guilty people in jail. No, people that do right in jail. So, despite his refusal, Potiphar's wife persists, and one day when they are alone, she grabs his cloak and demands that he lie with her. Joseph flees, leaving his cloak in her hand. So you flee doing what's right. America, Tennesseans, you flee under a Christian governor, flies that Christian banner, doing what's right. Let me tell you what, you're going to end up in jail. You're going to end up in jail in the state of Tennessee, most likely you or your family, for doing right. Churches, let them speak in your church. They're the ones that you're letting speak in your church, flying the Democrat or Republican banner, that are going to put you in jail for doing right. You'll say, how could this happen? Well, I'm trying to tell you how it happens. Happened to Joseph. It's not conspiracy. This is the Bible, and I can read you case after case after case. It happens in the state of Tennessee. The government puts out the joke. Everybody in jail says they're innocent. Let me tell you a little truth. A hell of a lot of them are, and further, a lot of people in the government, like Sherman Tissue Allen, ought to have her hind end behind bars. And if I ever get any kind of power at all, we'll do little investigations on these creeps, these dirt bags. And we'll legitimately, justifiably bring charges before a jury and put Sherman Tissue Allen in jail, who's endangered society since she's been in that office 4 years. It's not the criminals that they brand that you need to watch out for. It's the people that are branding them, and the problem is they'll brand you. Now this is just a little different information, isn't it? Yeah, it's called unbridled news, fear of God, not man. They need to fear God, and they don't. So here's what happened. Joseph flees, leaving his cloak in her hand. In retaliation for his rejection, so in retaliation for you doing right, maybe serving God, maybe going to church, maybe even if you're not Christian, doing right, trying to make a living, working hard, trying to advance society, like your mom and dad told you. Do good, treat people right, you'll be treated right. That's a lie. You treat people right, that doesn't mean you'll be treated right. Obey the law, you won't go to jail. That's not true. You dispel that myth. In retaliation for his rejection, Potiphar's wife, listen to this, listen to this. This is what you need to get. Here's what you need to get. A whole thing. You can turn off all this. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is impactful from the Bible. A commentator. Potiphar's wife falsely accuses Joseph of attempting to assault her. So this falsely accusing thing just came up today. It's been going on for centuries, for decades, for years and years. It's gotten worse. It's something you got to fight against. Stick your head in the sand, and Bubba's waiting. Now I say that jokingly, but it's not a joke. Bubba, you can call him whoever, is really in jail, and he's going to sexually assault you. That's what's going to go down. Look at the numbers of the sexual assaults and brutality in our jails, and you're going to be there falsely accused. And you can mock me all you want to. You know, joke's on you. I'm trying to keep you from that. Your best bet would be to subscribe and follow along and help me keep you out of jail and being falsely accused. So Joseph was falsely accused of attempting to assault Potiphar's wife. She lied on him. You think maybe what happened to him might happen to you? This ain't the only biblical story. A lot of great Christian fine people not doing anything wrong end up behind bars. So Joseph, Potiphar's wife, falsely accuses Joseph of attempting to assault her. She presents the cloak as evidence to her husband, claiming the Hebrew slave you brought us came to me to make sport of me. Potiphar, angered by the alleged offense, listen to this, has Joseph in prison. So we have an innocent man who's trying to do right, not only innocent, he's getting solicited to do something wicked. And he rebuffs that, and the person that was wicked lies, has evidence. Oh, they got evidence up in the court. They'll pile it a mile high against you. It's all false, fake evidence that they have made up a bunch of dirty, nasty lies, like I told one of the judges in their hearing, right to their face. You think I'm afraid of these judges? I told one of them in the face that a dirty lie, y'all are dirty liars, to their face. They are. The judges are the king. They put dirty lies against you and protect evil and put you in jail, and you'll go today. That's That's scriptural, biblical Christians. So keep letting Bill Lee come to your church and speak. Yeah, he's a dirty liar. He's a creep. He's a criminal. He's a transvestite thug. He doesn't spend his time helping people like a governor should. He spends his time at Governor Bill Has-Been's house, the rich man's house, that's got a lot of money to rig up a lot of lies against Tennesseans that he does, that uses the government to serve himself and has jail cells built for you. Now, I stood up against Bill Has-Been. I'm not afraid of him. He better be afraid of God. His day's coming. Acts like a righteous man. What a bunch of hogwash. Got all kinds of evidence against me. Yeah, well, I was trying to do right. The blood's on his hand. If I was him, I'd be shaking in my boots, but he's a dumbass. He doesn't have any fear of God. I do. He don't need to fear me. He better fear God. So, Potiphar, angered by the alleged offenses, has Joseph in prison. So, you're going to go to prison for doing right. I'm just telling you the facts. Don't kill the messenger. If you do, I'll go straight to heaven. Just tell the truth. And in retaliation for his rejection, Potiphar's wife falsely accuses Joseph of attempting to assault her. She presents the cloak as evidence. They got evidence. It's false evidence to her husband, claiming the Hebrew slave you brought us came to make sport of me. Potiphar, angered by the alleged offense, has Joseph in prison. So you're going to jail for doing right. Genesis 39:19. It came to pass when his master heard the words of his wife, now heard the false line evidence and the words of his wife, which she spoke at him, saying, after this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. They're going to be angry at you for somebody else's evil, even though you stood up for the right. And they're going to punish you while the evil person doesn't go to prison, you go to prison. Potiphar's wife, I'm just telling you, this is their courthouses, that you stand up for the judge. Joseph's spirit is practical and both urging believers to flee sexual immorality. So he's doing what's right. Joseph experienced parallels later believers who suffer for doing right. Accusations may stick for a season, but God vindicates his servants. So, Genesis 39:18 records Potiphar's wife crafting a convincing lie. We're talking about you going to jail. They're jails. They're hellholes. But when I screamed for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house. Her claim distorts Joseph's righteous fight for temptation and alleged assault. By examining each phrase, we see a deceptive cry disguising sin. They're real good at their lies. They'll dress them up pretty. Misuse evidence that actually points to virtue. A hasty exit that fulfills God's call to flee evil. The verse highlights how integrity can be maligned, yet it assures readers that God ultimately honors and rescues those who remain faithful under pressure. I'm telling you, you're going to jail for doing right. Probably the more right you do, the more likely you go to jail. You say, why should I do right? Because this life is temporal, and God's got you. Scripture often uses clothing imagery to symbolize character. Speaks of righteousness clothing to the godly. Here, a righteous act is twisted into supposed guilt, foreshadowing how Jesus' seamless robe was gambled over while lies were told about him. So, Joseph, in the Bible, and it's going on today, was put in jail for telling the truth, for fighting evil. So we got another ambulance person coming down through here. Let's see what we got. Probably calling on me. Yeah, there's angels. So they're still good in the earth. Those angels that come and rescue people. So Joseph was accused. Either Potiphar was signally lenient, or as a perhaps more probable, he did not quite believe his wife's story and thought it best to hush up a scandal. The transfer of Joseph from the house to the adjoining prison would be quietly managed, and then no more need to be said about an ugly business. So politically, a lot of people go to jail for political reasons. The king knew that it was probably wrong. That's why he didn't execute him. He just put him in prison, because that was an executable offense. So you can go to jail for political reasons being right. They don't care. They will solve a problem. So now we see him at the lowest ebb of his fortunes, flung down in a moment by a lie from the height to which he had slowly been climbing, having lost the confidence of his master and earned the unslumbering hatred of a wicked woman. Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. And people say, well, just do wrong. It's all right. It's okay. Yeah, no. He had wickedness. He had wrecked his career by his goodness. You say, why don't you just go along then? You wreck your career. Just go along with the program. Everything's all right. And for a little while, it can be. That's not how I do. That's not how I fly. He had hatred of a wicked woman. He had wrecked his career by his goodness. What a fool, people say. What a fool Charles Van Morgan is. What a fool. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that. And hey, you think what you want to think. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I'd invite people to join me. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like. Because it's not over yet. There can be long pursuits. They end sudden. He had wrecked his career. What a fool, says the world. How badly managed things are in his life, in this life. Say doubters that virtue should not be paid by prosperity. Sometimes it's not. Virtue will get you in a jail cell. In this government, in America, we got to fight them. He was a fool, and whether things so badly arranged, and the lesson enforced by the picture of Joseph in his dungeon, in which young beginners in life have special need to learn, is that came that will of it. Right is right and sin is sin. The consequences are never to deter from duty, and that it is better to have a clean conscience and be in prison than do wickedness and sit at the king's table. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. You know, soldiers that gave me a right to stand here and disagree with the government. You can believe I'm right or wrong, but I have a right to disagree with people in government power. I've got that right. But it should not be taken away from you. That's the problem. It has been, and it will be in the future, to disagree with the government. And it's better to fight and have a clean conscience than it is to be in the State Highway Patrol and be a colonel. Better to do right. That's what I believe. What do you believe? So, and it's better to have a clean conscience and be in prison than do wickedness and sit at the king's table. A very threadbare lesson, but needing to be often repeated. It's better to suffer for righteousness' sake than to benefit from doing wicked. And that happens a lot. That's what I believe with all my heart. That's what I know. But the Lord was with Joseph. That is one of the eloquent but of Scripture. The prison is light when God is there, and chains do not chafe. So it's better to do right and get put in prison. So I don't know if they're waving at me or they're trying to get over. So they'll use wrong evidence to convict you of crimes and put you in jail, like Joseph in the Bible. And as for them, the crimes that they commit, let's look at John J. Duncan Jr., who has his name right down the street here on the Knoxville area transit station. Now was in government power. He's retired now, and had a son who committed a felony charge. He pled guilty of official misconduct. Now, these are people in power. This is the difference in how they treat people and how they get out of stuff and you pay full price. So he was in government power, and his son committed a felony, stealing tax money, saying he went to training classes and getting paid for them that he never went to. And these are people in power. This is how they do themselves. And his name is on the side of the building. There's a sheriff's deputy waving, so not all of them hate us. Schools. God bless those deputies that guard our little children in schools. And thank you for what you do. And his son pled guilty. He did a probationary period, and his record was expunged in 2014. And his name's on the transit center in Knoxville, and his son is not even a convicted felon now because he got it expunged from his record. That's how they do them, and I guarantee you, if you do that, you will still be in trouble and have a felony on your record. So let's look at the number of people in Tennessee and the danger of prisons. From a criminology perspective, and talk about your jail cell and how dangerous prisons are. So thank y'all for joining. Like, share, subscribe, and contribute if you can. Help me get the message out. So the show is warning you're innocent, convicted, years in prison. It's what you could face. Your new home for a crime you didn't commit. And we just talked about Joseph, and there's other people in the Bible. Friday we talked about courthouses. Today, let me show you where that courthouse can send you, to prison. And here's my warning. You can be innocent and still be convicted. You can be innocent and still lose decades in jail. Don't picture some stranger on television that you heard about. Picture you. You know you didn't do it. Your family knows you didn't do it, but the jury says guilty. And even a jury convicts innocent people a lot. And we'll show you some cases. The judge says years in prison and the steel door slams shut. Now that's what happens. That's reality. That's not a hoax. That's the damn truth. That's your government, what your government does. That can't happen to me. Oh yes, it can. Happened to Joseph. It's been happening for centuries. It's something that has to be fought, has to be contested. It's not something that will go away. You may not be interested in fighting your government. You may not be interested in war. War and your government is interested in you and putting you in prison. Innocent people have gone to prison, not for days, not for months, for decades. And I am trying to scare the hell out of you, to scare you into reality. The Tennessee Innocence Project says it has secured 10 exonerations since 2019. 2026 reporting says these cases represent hundreds of years of lost freedom. The court can correct a verdict way down the line. It cannot return yesterday. Ricky Lee Webb, Tennessee. Convicted, life sentence. He maintained he was innocent. He had 5 alibi witnesses. The Tennessee Innocence Project later uncovered evidence it says had been withheld, evidence of coercion involving witnesses. He finally walked out after 46 years, 8 months, and 23 days. He lost his life. This is your government. It's not the economy. although that is a problem, it is your government, people in government power who have invaded your government. I'm not anti-government. I'm anti-rogue government. I'm anti-people in government power right now. We have very few people in government that will be honest and tell the truth and not put you in prison for crimes you didn't commit. Our very own president, miraculously, is the president of the United States, although people like to point out that he is a convicted felon. That ought to send a message. Yeah, do you think he committed a felony? I don't. Hell no, I don't. I don't believe that at all for 10 seconds. It was a trumped up charge. You don't think that could happen to you? Count the years. One Christmas, 10 Christmases, 20, 30, 40, your parents' age, your children grow up, people you love die, the world changes, and you are still saying, I didn't do it. Now that's a reality. It's not the economy. It's people in power in your government. This could really happen to you. It happens a lot. This is a real problem, a real issue, serious issue. One of the most serious issues that we have today. They're taking your life away from you. Eric Wright, Memphis. Eric Wright, the crime scene fingerprints didn't match him. No physical evidence connected him to the robbery. The case relied heavily on eyewitness identification. He was convicted, sentenced 150 years. New fingerprint testing later pointed elsewhere. A judge found new science evidence of actual innocence. Eric Wright lost nearly 36 years. It can happen to you. The fingerprints didn't match. He still lost 36 years. The evidence they have maybe evidence of your innocence that they used to prove you're guilty, like Potiphar's wife used the cloak that she grabbed onto while he was fleeing. Use that as evidence against him. It depends on the evidence and how they want to look at it. It should be evidence to exonerate you. They use it to prove you guilty. In their sick minds, they're going to tear you a new asshole. That's right out of the words of the prosecutor. Scott Hamilton, Cleveland, Tennessee, East Tennessee. 18 alibi witnesses. Time-stamped receipts. No physical evidence tied him to the crime, but he was convicted. He lost 31 years. A judge eventually wrote that it was abundantly clear Milton had nothing to do with the events after 31 years. How many alibi witnesses do you think you need? 3, 5, 10? How about 18? Claude Garrett, Tennessee, almost 30 years. Tennessee Innocence Project lists Garrett among the Tennesseans that helped exonerate after decades in prison. He finally got out. Then he died only months later. They could open the prison door. They could not give him back his 30 years. And I am telling you, with all sincerity and honesty, you're going to prison for doing right under this government in the state of Tennessee. This is ground zero. This is your warning, unbridled news. The system that you think is set up to protect you is set up to imprison you for doing right. That's the system we have in America, in Tennessee right now. Joyce Watkins and Charlie Dunn. Joyce Watkins was 27 years old. Charlie Dunn was 27 years. Both were unilaterally exonerated. Dunn did not live to see his name cleared. Sometimes justice arrives after the person is gone. You have to fight this stuff. Wrong man, no conviction required. Now listen to this. You don't have to get the wrongful conviction. Shelby County, Anthony Robertson, a federal court described this case as mistaken identification and wrongful detention. The crimes were committed by another man while a similar name, Robertson's bond, was $1.3 million. Time locked up 140 days. So he didn't even get convicted. Wrong name got him in jail 140 days because these people don't even care about getting their wickedness right. The actual man the authorities wanted was already in custody. Hello. And jail doesn't mean convicted. Here's something most people don't think about. At mid-year 2024, America's local jails held about 657,500 people, and 69% were unconvicted. They're just accused of a crime. Probable cause, not guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, in jail. Think about how easily it is for you to go to jail. And I'm telling you, you're going to probably end up in jail. That's the way the system is designed under the people in power right now. 450,600 people that were awaiting court action or otherwise being held without a conviction on the current matter. They haven't even been convicted. The public hasn't had time. An unbiased jury supposedly hasn't had time to even hear the matter, and they're behind bars. You're behind bars and you haven't even had your day in court. A jail cell isn't proof of guilt. Emma Wilson, Texas. Emma Wilson, police called her over. She was out at a well-known hangout, a single lady, and police called her over and she got scared. She ran, which is not a crime. Police later said crack cocaine was found near where she had been standing. The Institute for Justice says no officer saw her drop it. She said it wasn't mine. She refused plea deals. She went to trial. She was convicted. So a lady at a well-known popular hangout, single lady, socializing like people do, living their lives, and police saw her and asked her to come over here, and she didn't. She got scared and she took off running, which is her right. She can run. She doesn't have to come to cops. No crime. And they said where she had been standing, although they didn't see her drop anything, they found drugs. In a heavily populated area, people drop their drugs when they're high. She said it wasn't hers. They chased her down, put her in jail for drugs they found near where she was standing. And she was convicted. Now look behind the courtroom. Here's where the people in power story gets worse. Prosecutor Ralph Petty, now this was on her case, was also working as a law clerk for judges. Now this is how they rigged the system. This is how the system's rigged. In their kangaroo courts, you don't have legitimate courts in the state of Tennessee or in America. You have rigged courts, rigged system. The prosecutor was also working as a clerk for the judges. See the courtroom work group there works with him every day. This lady was an outsider. Regardless of what they do to her, the other people are together all the time. They don't want to make each other mad. In the Emma Wilson case, the Institute for Justice says Petty secretly drafted the final judgment sentencing order. So the prosecutor drafted the final judgment, the judge's sentencing order, for somebody he was prosecuting that simply exercised a right, didn't come to police, left the scene, wasn't suspected of a crime, and then they found drugs where she was standing that somebody else dropped, wasn't hers, and she went to jail, and the prosecutor wrote her sentencing order that the judge is supposed to do. That's your American system. The prosecutor over here, judge over there, and the prosecutor is also working for the judge. You think that don't happen here in Knox County? This is ground zero. The prosecutor here in Knox County, good for nothing Randy Nichols, who released hundreds of drunk driving cases, blame it on me, was appointed by Ned McWhorter to be the prosecutor, wasn't elected till later, and he appointed Richard Baumgardner to be the judge in Knox County who was raping women. And Nichols had to have known about it, going right under his nose, and ignored it because he got rulings in his favor from the judge. If he wanted somebody put in jail, he knew the judge was raping women, so the judge ruled in his favor. So Randy Nichols wouldn't report his wrongdoing to the Tennessee bar. So they protect each other. So Randy Nichols, it still goes on to this day. You say that was years ago, get over that. Well, no, it's this day, today, in August 2026, Randy Nichols, after he left the prosecutor's office, while he was prosecutor, the sheriff was allegedly stealing your money. He was taking drug seizure money, using the credit card, and about 10 officials here in the government, in the sheriff's department, high-ranking officials, were taking the drug seizure money and using that to buy themselves duck blinds and commodes and fix their cars, using drug seizure money that's supposed to be used to combat drug crimes, to keep people from dying. Instead, they were using it for their own personal use. And there is also the issue of drug seizure money not really being used for, not really crime money, just them taking people's money and alleging that it's used to facilitate the commission of crime. So there's really two crimes involved there. So Randy Nichols was over the prosecutor's office when the sheriff was possibly accused of stealing drug money. And the drug money was probably stolen too. So the prosecutor is over a judge that gets rulings and it could report him to the bar, supposed to. And he's also supposed to prosecute crimes, so he's sitting there watching the sheriff, probably should know that he's stealing drug money. Randy Good-for-Nothing Nichols, and lies about me, protects the entourage, and now Randy Nichols retired from the prosecutor's office. He only prosecuted you, he didn't prosecute criminals, obviously. And now he works for the sheriff's department. So, you see how that big circle, they protect each other. Prosecutor over here, judge over there, and the prosecutor's also working for the judge, and the sheriff over here too, and all his high-ranking officials. Michael Morton, Texas. Michael Morton was convicted of murdering his wife. He was innocent. He spent about 25 years in prison. DNA evidence eventually cleared him and identified another man. Investigators later found evidence favorable to Morton had been withheld. You think the prosecutor withheld evidence? They had a prosecutor in Attorney General Sharman Tissue Allen's office that was listening to confidential communications between a lawyer and their client. Obviously a violation of the law, but they don't care about that. They want an advantage over you, and they'll get it, howbeit illegally. And also that prosecutor lied under oath. What do you think happened to you or me if we lied under oath? We'd be put in jail. Was he put in jail? No. A judge, he ultimately pled guilty to criminal contempt for deliberately withholding exculpatory evidence. He resigned, surrendered his law license, and received 10 days in jail. Michael Morton, 25 years for a crime he didn't commit. The judge in this case got caught. Years later, most of the time they don't, got 10 days in jail, and that's the system trying to explain to you that it works. It doesn't work. Puts you in jail. Just like Potiphar's wife. 25 years, the former prosecutor, 10 days. And we talked about wrongful imprisonment. You think wrongful imprisonment is just a modern problem. It's all through the pages of the Bible. It's full of people who ended up in chains because power got it wrong, or because power doesn't want the truth. Now that's something the church needs to be fighting against, is people in power in the government. They need to be fighting against Potiphar's wife. They don't. That's why the church, some of the people in the church is part of the problem. You think it's just the church's responsibility to spread the gospel. It is. It most certainly is. How can you spread the gospel to the world if you're in prison? Now, God might have it for a limited purpose for you to spread the gospel in prison, but that's not how God expects the gospel to be spread, ultimately, for free people to spread the gospel. And the church fails, a lot of them do, by failing and refusing to fight that. Joseph, Potiphar's wife, we'll go over that again, wanted Joseph. Joseph refused her. She falsely accused him. Who went to prison? Joseph. He said no, she lied. Power believed the lie. Joseph got the cell. Jeremiah 37. Jeremiah was accused of defecting to the enemy. He said it's false. The officials beat him, then put him in prison. They didn't answer the prophet. They locked up the prophet. Micah, 2 Kings 22. King Ahab wanted prophets who would tell him what he wanted to hear. Micah told him the truth, and Ahab ordered, put him in prison. Tell power what it wants, you're welcome. Tell power what it hates, like Charles Van Morgan, you'll get a cell. Not a new phenomenon. If you don't think wrongful in prison exists, close your eyes. And it's willful blindness. It's something we have to fight. We have to contest legally, legitimately, not with violence. It exists. It is real. Don't turn a blind eye to it. You could be next. 2 Chronicles 16, Hannah. Hannah rebuked King Asa. Asa got angry. What did the king do? Put him in prison. And the Bible says, as oppressed other people too. Abuse of power don't always stop with one victim. John the Baptist confronted Herod. He told a ruler what the ruler didn't want to hear. Herod put him in jail, and eventually John lost his head. He didn't rob Herod. He didn't attack Herod. He confronted power, which is what I'm doing out front. I'm not asking other people to do that. He got beheaded. He got beheaded. It's dangerous to fight these crooks. That's what I'm on the planet for, to fight evil for your good. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for helping. Peter, in Acts 12, Herod killed James. The Bible says when Herod saw that it pleased people, he went after Peter too. Peter was arrested, chained, guarded. When prosecution became politically popular, listen church, politically popular, the ruler did more of it. It is politically popular in Knoxville, Tennessee to hate truth tellers. And the people in power will fall right in line. They did in Chattanooga. When persecution becomes politically popular, the rulers will do more of it. You got to show them. We got to get up and vote. The world is full of wicked people, and wicked people vote. Some of them don't, a lot of them do. Wicked people vote. The government is a symbol of a huge part of the populace of the state of Tennessee and the United States of America. A huge part of the populace of people are wicked. A lot of voting power are wicked. People in power represent that. They give them what they ask for. That's just the damn truth. I hate it, but it's the truth. It is very much the truth. Now, they don't say that, so there's a lot of wicked politicians who fulfill the wishes of wicked people all across the state. That's probably, hey, that's not going to get you me many votes, but that's the truth. That's what we're up against. Don't deny the truth just because it's not pretty, doesn't agree with what you think should be. That's the truth. Persecution is politically popular in the state of Tennessee, in the city of Knoxville, in the United States of America. It's politically popular because a lot of the people that vote these people in office are corrupt, wicked, evil people, fallen people, unrighteous. Some of them in fact, are allegedly self-proclaimed Christians. They fly the Christian banner to throw you off. And they're not. Anybody that thinks it's good for people to be locked up for long periods of time for minor crimes. No one's perfect for minor crimes. I don't believe can call themselves a Christian. Where's mercy and peace and love for people? Our prison population is outrageous. Even people that are criminals that belong in jail for a short period of time are kept for an enormously long period because wicked people want to keep them there. And some of them aren't even guilty. The lack of care and concern for even real criminals is outrageous. Lock them up and throw away the key for minor offenses is horrific. And if you believe that, there's another ambulance. Then I'm not going to agree with you. And I know it's popular. Lock them up. Get criminals off the street. Forever? For their whole life? For minor offenses? For minor things? Where's mercy? I guarantee you, these rich people in power, they commit crimes all day long, every day, in positions of authority, violating their oath. And they get a slap on the wrist. They don't get strict, harsh punishment, and it gets wiped off their record. Why can't that be across the board? Mercy and peace for all of mankind. Only lock people up when we absolutely have to. Let people go. Be merciful. Give them a second, third chance if it's necessary. Show love and compassion. Stop this mass incarceration of the population of Tennessee and America that makes things worse. Makes it worse. Makes it a more violent society. You start letting people out of jail being merciful, stop giving them full punishment and then some, I guarantee you it'll be a less violent Tennessee, a less violent world. Unlock the jail cells, give people mercy, try it, it's never been tried. The government now, these people in power, it's politically correct to lock people up and throw away the damn key for minor offenses, minor stuff, nonviolent stuff. That is wrong, that is wrong. If you're a Christian, a church, you ought to stand up against that stuff. Let people go. Stand up against mass incarceration in the United States of America. It is so ungodly and wicked that we do this to people. Your tax money's paying for it. You got to vote against it. Mass incarceration has never worked. It never will work. It makes it a more dangerous society. They get breaks. Let's just spread it around. Paul and Silas, Acts 16. Paul and Silas stripped, beaten, thrown in prison, feet locked in stocks. Then the next day, the officials wanted to quietly let them go. Now, this is what the church said. They wanted to let them go. They beat them up, put them in jail wrongfully. And this is the Bible Christian people, or even non-Christian people. The stuff I'm saying makes sense. Paul said no. So a Christian said, no, they just want to let us go, let us quietly walk out of here without fighting it after what they have done. Paul said, no. They have beaten us openly uncondemned. Paul did not say the government made a mistake, forget about it. He demanded accountability. Let's demand accountability. Daniel 6, the officials looked for corruption in the officials looked for corruption in Daniel. Remember that? The Bible says they could not find none. So they manipulated the law. What's that? They manipulate the law. You say, I'll abide by the law. You can't. You're going to abide by a manipulated law? Every time you do what's right and obey the law, they're going to change the goalpost, switch it around, or you're going to violate the law because it's their law that they switch and change to find you guilty of something. Been going on since Bible times. It doesn't happen anymore. You believe that? Political incarcerations, manipulating the law from good liars, using evidence that should exonerate you against you. That's how they do. That's what they'll do to you in the state of Tennessee. Well, still 200 people. God bless you all. Thank you all. They manipulated the law to trap him. The result, They put him in the lion's den. They couldn't find a crime in Daniel, so they built a legal trap for Daniel. They'll build a legal trap for you. Me, I was standing up against the government, passing out religious material, justifiably not committing any crime. They threw me over the 20-foot line and said that I was over the line when they put me there. A legal trap for me. The biblical pattern. Joseph, false accusation. They'll make false accusations against you. You're going to end up in jail, false accusations. Doesn't matter if you did anything wrong, they'll make it up. Jeremiah, false accusations. Micah, power hated the message. Hannah, power hated criticism. John, confronted a ruler. These are people that went to jail in the Bible. Peter, political persecution. Paul, beaten and jailed. Daniel, law manipulated against him. They're manipulating the laws today behind a Christian banner, saying property rights, giving them authority to kill you for spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, church, let it go. You'll answer for it. You'll answer for your refusal to stand up for being able to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ against this government, against a government ran by a man that flies a Christian banner. How dare he? I would hate to be his shoes when he stands before God. The things that he's done, the travesties that he's committed against Tennesseans, against Americans. You tell, and Bill Lee knows my name, you tell him I said that, he ought to be ashamed of himself. Sick, pathetic, anti-God, anti-Christian governor that literally flies a Christian banner. How sickening and pathetic is that? The law manipulated against him. The Bible never teaches that everybody behind bars must be guilty. They are not guilty, a lot of them. Welcome to your new home. Now back to today. You've been convicted, you're innocent. You say, surprise, surprise. No, that's usually the way. That's not a surprise. That's standard operating procedure for your government. I'm telling you, you better get it right. You think, well, I'll get a fair shot. In a Tennessee courtroom, it's a kangaroo courtroom. You won't get a fair shot. That's going in the door. Remember that. Remember I told you. The bus pulls up, the gate opens, razor wire, steel, concrete, locks, the door closes. Welcome to your new home. You say, wow, how'd this happen? I told you in August 2026. Told you. You didn't listen. You didn't fight it. You went along with the program. You went along with our program. Prison isn't a safe waiting room. It's not a hotel where you sit while somebody figures out the mistake. Prison can include assaults, weapons, drugs, sexual violence, suicide. So you're going to a very dangerous place. They're going to put you in jail with some very dangerous people, even though you're safe, never did anything wrong. Remember that. Homicides in prison. They're going to put you in a hellhole. You go from the court facade, the kangaroo court hellhole, to another hellhole, which is called prison or jail, sometimes even awaiting your hearing that you haven't even been convicted. Tennessee prison deaths. Tennessee Department of Correction reports that in fiscal year 2025, 159 offenders died. 10 they reported were homicides. So you're going to a place where people will kill you. There's killers in jail that they'll turn loose on you. They're not going to protect you in jail. They can't protect their own corrections officers. You think they're going to spend time or blood or effort in protecting you? Frankly, clearly you'll be dead wrong and your family's going to miss you. Say, but I was innocent. I think we done covered that. Joseph was too. So many ways and reasons they can get you there. You're going to go. Tennessee prison deaths, 159. 10 reported homicides, probably more than that. That's what they're reporting. Do you believe them? 11 were suicides. Right. 11 suicides. A lot of those were probably murders rigged up to make it look like suicides. 40 deaths. Tennessee Department of Corrections was still waiting for the death certificate when the report was prepared. So they don't even know about the other 40. Homicide is a matter of death classification. It does not by itself mean someone was convicted of murder. A lot of times they get by. When I worked in the Corpus Christi jail out in Nueces County Jail out in Corpus Christi, Texas, where I started my law enforcement career, I was there about a year, and in that short time, a man was stabbed to death by a shank in the jail. In that short period of time, an inmate was killed. Violence in Tennessee prisons. Assaults occur against other prisoners. You can't get away from it. And the guards don't control the prison, inmates control the prison. That's one thing I learned after a couple of days working in the jail. You're not controlling this jail, the inmates are control the jail. The only thing that the government controls is that they stay in that environment that's controlled by some criminals. So, assaults occur against other prisoners and staff. Just had a corrections officer killed in Morgan County Correctional Facility. There's some good news. Tennessee reported that serious assaults resulting in injury fell sharply in 2025. More than 50% of assaults on other offenders and more than 75% of assaults on staff. So I'm going to give them credit where it's due. They have fallen in 2025. The numbers improved. Improved does not mean no danger. National homicide rates. The most recent complete Bureau of Justice Statistics National State Prison Mortality Series still ends in 2019. That year, 143 state prisoners died by homicide. 143 across the United States of America were murdered in jail. That was the highest record in 19 years of the Bureau of Justice Statistics series. State prisoners were nearly 3 times as likely as U.S. adults to die by homicide that year. So you have more of a chance of dying in prison than in the free world. Prison is not a violent free zone. I'm telling you about your next home. Sexual victimization. Bubba, he's there. He's there in prison, and he's going to rape you. Almost 300 people. He's going to rape you. You're going to go for a crime you didn't commit, maybe accused of sexual assault, or maybe you're accused of rape. So you're in jail for accused and convicted of rape you didn't commit, and Bubba's in jail, and he's going to rape you while you're in jail. Now look at 2023-2024 newer statistics. 49,300 prisoners, half of what it takes to fill up Neyland Stadium, reported sexual victimization. That is 4.1%. About 28,100 reported victimization by another prisoner. About 26,600 reported victimization involving faculty and staff. So even the faculty and staff are raping prisoners, and prisoners raping some of them. Some prisoners reported both. Rape by staff and other prisoners. That's your new home. That's where you're going for a crime that you're alleged of committing, maybe a sexual offense, and then you go to prison where they put you in an environment where you're likely to get the crime committed against you that you're falsely accused of committing. This is Unbridled News, the truth channel, the way it really is. And you can believe whatever you want to. Hey, turn CNN or Channel 10, Channel 8, or Channel 6, and they'll tell you there's dangerous people in jail, and we got them locked up, and they're part of the problem. This is Unbridled News. This is the truth. You're likely to go to jail for a rape you didn't commit, while a judge that's raping people puts you there. And then you get put in jail for a crime you didn't commit, convicted by a prosecutor who may be a pedophile. This is true. This is true. Hey, it's a bitter pill. You better take it, because Bubba's there, and you could get raped in jail. Now, this is a little different truth on things. This is called the truth. This is not what they're telling you, I know. This is what I'm telling you. It's called a warning. Ding, ding, ding. Hey, listen, this stuff is going to happen. High likelihood. So then you get in jail convicted for a crime of sexual rape offense that you didn't commit, and you get raped while you're in jail. The crime you're there for, you didn't do, gets committed on you in a place they put you at gunpoint. Now, ignore me, go ahead. I'm just telling you the truth. A lot of people listen, subscribe to the channel. I'm telling you the law, the real truth, the way it is, right out of the pages of the Bible. All that stuff went away. That don't happen anymore. Let me put it plainly, maybe unchristian bullshit. Believe whatever you want to, I know the truth. A lot of people will believe me. And keep electing a Christian sheriff, waves that banner while he puts you in jail to get raped, while he's wearing a dress when he was a kid. I mean, believe all that garbage you want to. I know, I got some scars. I know how they do. And my scars are still there. Every time I think, give them a little break, I look at the scars. It's not gonna work out for you. It's not gonna work out for me. It's not gonna work out for the church unless you fight these people, not like they do, legitimately and legally. The truth still matters, has weight and value. I know they're lies. They're lies, or there's criminals in jail. Every damn one of them. We're great, we're locking them up. While the people locking you up are the ones committing the crimes, they put you in a place where you'll be victimized. Or your family. You want this to happen to your family? I know this is not pretty. It's called the truth. We live in a fallen world. Take the pill or die or get raped or your family. So, the court sentenced them to prison and they get sexually abused. Now follow the money. Now we get to the part that should make every taxpayer pay attention. Prisons are a business. Tennessee has 14 state prisons. 10 are operated by Tennessee Department of Corrections. 4 are privately managed by CoreCivic. They put so many innocent people in jail that they gotta have more prisons to incarcerate the innocent people. They got so many innocent people in jail. I know, but people don't want to believe that. There's only guilty people in jail. Hey, when you're there, I'm the only innocent person in jail. Everybody else is guilty. And that's what you think in your little pea brain. I mean, there's a lot of prisoners in jail that are innocent, or put in jail for a extended, horrific amount of time for a minor offense, because they want to lock you up. They want to lock you up. They want you in jail while they're committing crimes to put you there. Forging evidence, lying, manipulating the law, all these things. Very good at it. And then selling it to the public. Only guilty people there. Yeah, right. So, 4 private prisons, CoreCivic manages Hardin County, South Central, Trousdale, Turner, Whiteville. When incarceration is a business, the public better follow the money, because they benefit, they get more money for more heads. You know, $1,000 a head goes in their pockets. So if that head's not there, your head's not in their jail, they don't get that $1,000. So even if you didn't commit the crime, they got an interest in getting your head in the jail cell. That's just the way it is. That's human nature. That should never be a private for-profit prison. That's crazy as hell. People benefiting off your demise, getting richer, getting better houses, getting better lawyers to buy themselves out of crimes, putting you there for the crimes they're committing. This is what is going on. Reprogram your mind to the truth. Read the Bible. It will tell you. It doesn't take a genius to figure this stuff out. They lie every day, put out a false message. Everything's fine. The government's good. Everything's cool. Got a great prosecutor. Everything's fine. You're being protected by the government. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's exactly the opposite. Just like it was in Bible times. 2.2 billion CoreCivic annual report. 211 billion net income. 116.5 million. This is company-wide, not just Tennessee, but it tells you incarceration and detention are a big business. If you go to jail, they do well. If you go to jail without committing a crime, they do well. If you go to jail and you've committed a crime, the longer they keep you there, the better they do, even if it's unrealistic for the crime that you committed. That's the free world. Does it look free to you? It doesn't appear very free to me. If you look at the facts, the science, you don't even have to be a Christian. Listen to their own business language. This is striking. CoreCivic's own annual report used the term compensated man day. It describes that as a calendar day for which the company is paid for the occupancy of an individual in its care. Do you think they give a rat's ass if you're there and innocent? They just want you there. They could care less whether or not you committed a crime. It doesn't matter. Some even like it better. You're easy to deal with when you're not a criminal in their care. Your day behind bars can be somebody else's compensated man day. They get money for you being with Bubba. State contract connected with its 4 Tennessee prisons. One newly approved South Central management contract alone carried a 3-year project budget of about $168 million. Taxpayers, private business gets paid. So we have every right to watch every dollar in every sale. Marcia Blackburn U. Team Tennessee is a PAC formed to support Marcia Blackburn. Now, this is how they get elected to office. Get elected by lying. Get elected for being politically correct. A lot of the people in Tennessee, a lot of the people in the United States, wicked people want you in jail. They don't care if you committed a crime. They don't like you. They want you in jail. You don't have to commit a crime. Follow the political money. Team Tennessee is a PAC formed to support Marcia Blackburn U. State Affairs report that the recent report appearing CoreCivic gave Blackburn $50,000. Former CoreCivic CEO Damon Hanninger gave $50,000. Total $100,000 to the PACs to support Marcia Blackburn U. So, a campaign contribution is not proof of a bribe, but it's pretty damn good evidence. You should follow the money. So she is getting funded by people who benefit from putting you in prison. It's not real hard to figure out. The more people they have in prison, falsely or otherwise, the more money they make, the more they can give her to put out a lie to convince you to vote for her. And that's not the whole story. Federal election data compiled by ProPublica shows the CoreCivic PAC has made 23 contributions totaling $38,500 to Marcia for Senate, dating back to 2023. So she's already getting money to put out a false message. Private prison, government contracts, political money. Who is watching this? I am. I'm not saying that Marcia Blackburn sold a vote directly, indirectly. She's not going to say that. I'm saying a donation proves, I'm not saying a donation proves corruption, but the people have a right to know this, that money, who gets the contracts and who makes the policy. It is crooked people in government power getting money to spread a false message to help them get elected, that take money from people who want to incarcerate you to make more money. Tennessee inmate labor. And Tennessee has already had a case that shows why money incarceration deserves scrutiny. In 2024, the Tennessee Comptroller reported that Gibson County Sheriff Paul Thomas was indicting following investigation into business connected to inmate labor investigations, said more than $1.4 million in inmate wages, fees, and deductions were directed to allied group business. So they're getting money to work you while you're in prison, convicted innocent. They're benefiting from your work in prison. Would you work for them if you weren't in prison? Hell no. and then they're taking part of the money. So when somebody holds the keys and money is flowing, watch the keys, watch the money. Here's the whole story. Courthouse, judge, prosecutor, jury, jail, prison, private contract, political donation. There are different parts of the system. Watch every part, because when one part fails, a human being can pay the price. That's me and you. Most every prosecutor in the state of Tennessee is corrupt. Most every judge in the state of Tennessee is corrupt. Innocent people, a lot of them, are convicted. That's not an opinion, it is documented fact. If it happens to you, your life gone, your job, your home, your savings, your reputation, your child is 10, then 20, then 30. Your mother dies, your father dies, your friends move on, and you're still behind steel bars saying, I didn't do it. Remember, and Charles Van Morgan told you so. Now's the time to listen. Now's the time to vote. Although these people are corrupt, and a lot of the public is corrupt, encouraging corrupt politicians to be political and incarcerate people wrongly, there are still good people that don't like this, and we need to get up and vote. The government can't fix this. They can vindicate your conviction. The prosecutor can dismiss the charge. The government can exonerate you. The prison can open the gate, but there's one order no judge can sign: give him back his 30 years. To give you back your time. They're stealing your time away from you. So when somebody says, why do you care about the rights of the accused? My answer is because tomorrow the accused will be you wrongfully. When somebody says the jury found him guilty, my answer is the jury and juries have been wrong a lot. When somebody says the system worked, ask the man that lost 46 years. A verdict can say guilty, the truth can still say innocent. A badge doesn't make a person infallible. A law degree doesn't make a person infallible. A robe doesn't make a person infallible. A jury doesn't make a mistake impossible. Joseph went to prison. Jeremiah went to prison. Michael went to prison. Peter went to prison. Paul went to prison. The fact that a man is in chains does not tell you whether the man deserves the change. Today, the name on the prison file is somebody else's name. Tomorrow, it could be yours. That's why constitutional rights matter. That's why due process matters. That doesn't exist for the most part. That's why honest judges matter that don't exist for the most part. That's why honest prosecutors matter. And I can tell you by fact it doesn't exist here in Knox County. That's why accountability matters. That's why this show matters, putting out the truth. Before they take somebody's freedom, government better get it right. Because you can return freedom, and sometimes it doesn't get returned. People die in prison. You can't return the time. So, we'll take a few questions. Thank y'all for listening to the show. What you can do about this is you can vote. There's a vote coming up in November. I'm on the ballot. The more votes I get, the more pressure we put on the system to act legitimately and legally, because they're not right now. The more political clout. You can call your friends and family and ask them to vote and get the message out. You can watch this show and help me spread the message and call everyone, even in other states. Contact people in Tennessee, because the state of Tennessee can reach across state lines. They already rob you financially by these judges getting your tax money through the student loan bank that they rob. So if you're in another state, you have an interest in elections in Tennessee. You can't vote in Tennessee, but I would encourage you to call people in Tennessee that you know, or call anybody. Call all, or you don't even have to call them, contact all. If you don't live in Tennessee, you have a stake, and ask them to vote. Ask them to vote for Charles Van Morgan. Ask them to vote, period. If you're in Tennessee, you have a stake in this election, they'll put you in jail, or your family, for something you didn't do. So vote. November 3rd, go yourself vote. Make a plan, go vote. I'm on the ballot, mark my name. Even if we don't win, which we might, it's possible, then we put political pressure on these people. We have a lot of voters that we can influence to make them do the right thing and not incarcerate innocent people. You can call or contact all. Contact your neighbors, contact your friends. Ask them to vote. If you can't vote, they got a felony on you, you can influence other people to vote. So contact all and ask them to contact other people. So you contact everybody you can contact, ask them to contact everybody they can contact to go vote November 3rd, Charles Van Morgan, I'm on the ballot. And even if you hate me, go vote. Show them a landslide, awesome amount of people that are paying attention to politics and the vote. My name's on the ballot, mark my name, give us political clout to where they know there's people behind us. And contact all by phone, however, knock on doors, contact all, tell them Charles Van Morgan, ask them to watch this channel, and ask the people that you contact to contact people they know and ask them to do the same thing. Contacting all beats bought elections, and we can make a difference. And Christian people, you want to be able to spread the gospel. They're taking that right away from you to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's one of the main things that they're trying to do, is stop the freedom of speech. So contact all and ask them to contact all. November 3rd is the day to show up and send this government a message while you can, instead of ending up in jail and knowing it's too late. Thank y'all for listening. Wow, almost 200 likes. Got 176, let's get 200 likes. I'll try to answer some questions. Contribute if you can. Watch the channel. Subscribe and like. Let's see, he said they can't vote if they got a felony. They're not supposed to. Enough of wokeism. Trump got real nutty with old Bubba in the plains. Okay, a lot of haters on here. And like I said, there is a lot of people that hate me and hate righteousness. A lot of them vote. And a lot of them influence politics. And politicians do what these nasty voters want them to do. That's just a thing. Mankind is in a fallen state. That's why we need to fight them even harder. The truth has weight and value. Get up and vote. Outvote these wicked people that are influencing the government to put you in jail. Christians and honest people, you would not want an innocent person to spend 1 second in jail. Go vote, because I guarantee you these wicked people want you to go to jail even if you didn't commit a crime, and they vote. So you've got to outvote them. You got to fight. Boy Caught 2 said hi, hello. 10 years, what's up? No ex-president got Secret Service detail forever. Voting is fake. No, it's not. No, it's not fake. It can be, and realistically, too big to rig. We got to be too big to rig. Got to make the election so enormous that we win by a landslide, that we win even with the part of the fakeness that's going on. That's why we have to fight like hell, not with bullets, with votes. A bullet is going in there marking my name on the ballot. Or just show up and vote if you hate me, to show them that you're paying attention to this. Election only rigged by those who lose. So Biden beat Trump, huh? No, I don't think that. I think the election was rigged, and there's good evidence to say that. But we're not going back in the past, we're going in the future. The past can show us the scars to know us the fight is real. The future is where we correct things to move forward, and that is the vote November 3rd, 2026, here in Knox County, to get a government in office that listens to you. And I have promised to go to every city, a different city, every month, at least once a month, usually every week, and talk to Tennesseans and listen to the mass populace of Tennesseans. Not necessarily the loudest voices. We'll even go to people's handicapped homes that can't get out and ask them how their government's going, and be a government that is a working government for the people of Tennessee, servants, not lords, but that is a working governor for the Tennessee, not somebody that sits up there in the governor's mansion and goes and visits the rich people. A governor that goes out to people in the state of Tennessee and listens to what you got to say and works hard to solve problems that the government can solve. Not a socialist government, but works hard to solve problems that a government has to solve. People can't individually build a road. People can't individually build a bridge. People can't individually make it possible for a hospital property to be put on that property. It takes the government to do things as a collective. That's why you hire people to be in government office, to facilitate things that the government has to do, people can't do. So I'm talking about a government that literally actively works to facilitate your will to make things better for the mass populace of Tennesseans. You don't have that right now. You haven't had that. You had a bunch of liars, a bunch of fake people that will put you in jail, that are contributing to your demise, that are benefiting off your demise. I'm offering a government and governor, and even if I don't win, we'll support the governor that does that in the right direction, that listens to people in Tennessee, actively works and listens and facilitates things the government can do within its proper function to facilitate the health, safety, and well-being of Americans. This is ground zero. This is where we can make it happen. And also works actively to fight and combat government corruption, that looks back in the past and gets evidence and prosecutes some of these people in government power that are the problem. It's not the economy that's the problem. The economy is a problem, but fighting the economy won't make things better. It is people in government power that are hurting the economy, that are hurting things. That's the fight, is people in government power. And if we fight people in government power, the economy will fix itself. So let's see. Trump is the only one who has come in and messed everything up. That's not true. Trump is one of the greatest presidents of my lifetime that has done some astonishing things that need to be done. One of them, this is unbridled news, is to contest and fight back against the false propaganda machines, your local and national news. That's false propaganda. He stood up against fake news. He's done a lot of things that have facilitated the betterment of the United States of America and people's rights. He's issued a lot of pardons. Wonderful thing. Pardons ought to be given out more. Let people out of jail. That's the right thing to do. He's issued a lot of pardons. Trump is a socialist, draft dodging pedo. That's a lie. That's somebody spamming me saying that. Hey, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. You hate him so bad, and a lot of people do. There's a lot of wicked people that influence politicians. Fortunately, by the grace of God, he got elected. One of the reasons why I voted for him, and criminals, people in jail, remember this. They're in jail telling you Trump's horrible. Trump is a convicted felon. That's one reason I voted for him. If the government hates you, then you're probably a pretty good person. That was one of my criteria. He got charged with a felony. So I voted for him. The government hates him. They charged him with a false felony. Hey, the government hates him. Now, had he been all shiny and beautiful in the news media and everybody loved him, I would have had a few questions about him. But people hate him. The government hates him. That's my man. Now, Similarly, I got a mugshot too. The government hates me. And I'm not, anyone that says something about me, I call it fake news. Trump. Yeah, he's the greatest president that we've had in my lifetime. If you want me to read your stupid comments, some of them, and some of y'all in here are great, then put a paid chat with it and I'll read it. Otherwise, I'm only reading what I want to. I'm a fan and not arguing with you, by the way. I'm just saying you are awake to an extent, but you get to get past thinking we have a say through voting. Laws are passed daily with no input from us. I agree. I agree. Let's change that. Let's change that by voting November 3rd, or calling and asking somebody else to vote for Charles Van Morgan and watching this channel for somebody that exposes the truth against people in government power and make it too big to rig. We can change that. I still believe that we can change that. People think that stuff is too big, too powerful to stop until it isn't. Until it isn't. The less powerful can cripple wicked governments. They have in the past, they can in the future. They can cripple them. And we can. I will not start wars. America will be first, no Israel, Trump. That's not accurate. That's false propaganda. Trump didn't start a war. He acted to preempt a nuclear war against us that would have been catastrophic. If you don't believe that you have to fight evil, that you can be nice enough to people to get them to act peacefully, you are not very aware of human nature. And I support the war and support Trump in his efforts to stop America from being annihilated. You're making excuses. Okay, so if you want me to read some of that garbage, then you put some money with it and I'll read it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna do that. We still got almost 200 people on here, so anybody got some real legitimate questions other than spammers, which is fine. I'm not going to succumb to intimidation or pressure by people. I know what I know, and I fear God, and I'm not bowing to public pressure. And if I were elected in office, I wouldn't bow to public pressure. And I'm not going to now. So you're spamming, and the bad looks I get, like the guy that when I was in law school, when I disagreed with a law professor who was a judge, justifiably and respectfully, and the class, oh, that's the judge, don't disagree with them, and everybody thinks that. Don't disagree with the establishment, with the status quo that's going to put you in jail next to Bubba, even though you didn't commit a crime. Don't agree with them. Don't disagree with them while they're trying to put you in jail wrongfully. Well, I will. But in the class, they're for the professor that's a judge in law school. So when I was walking in the room, he's an attorney now, who didn't like me respectfully disagreeing with what they think is God. I walked in the door and he looked at me cross-eyed. He thinks that affects me. He's giving me a sign, that I did bad by disagreeing with someone who was wrong in class. Respectfully, he's a lawyer now and I'm not, but hey, cross all you want to. Maybe they'll get stuck, but that doesn't intimidate me. He's a lawyer now, and he's your criminal defense lawyer. So he's not going to disagree with a judge for you. That wouldn't be right. Now, I would object to a judge's wrongful statements or rulings against innocent people. These people that are attorneys now won't do that. So if you think you're looking at me cross-eyed and you're bullshit, it's going to cripple me. Hey, I got some pretty deep scars of how the government has treated me, and I know better, and I know they'll do you the same damn way. So while you're looking cross-eyed at me and they put you in jail, remember that you tried to kill the messenger that was on your side too. Now, I can't help some people. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And my job is not to make you drink. It's to present the water for you and tell you the truth and try to help you get there. If you don't want to get there, hey, I put it out there. That's God's will. That's what I do. That's my responsibility, and I'm happy. Whether or not you drink or not, I wish you would. Be a lot better on you if you did. If you don't, that's not my problem. That'd be your problem. So say what you want. I just quoted the Bible. So if you want me to read your crooked text messages, then put some money with it. Otherwise, I'm not reading them. So send a gift chat and I'll read it. Otherwise, I'm not. So we got over 200 people in here. I'll read the ones I want. He started 2 wars, moron. Means he's master of the Jews told him that, yeah. So we have a issue in the state of Tennessee, in the United States of America, in the last days of anti-Semitism that you're spreading. Now, let me give you a little warning, not from me. I'm a pretty big guy, getting a little older, but I'm well adapted to self-defense. Trust me. Didn't get a scratch on me, arrested more people than any trooper in the whole state of Tennessee for more than half a decade, and even more before that. So I'm well adapted at self-defense, but you don't need to be afraid of me. You need to be afraid of God, because if you curse the Jews, God will curse you. So you say that at your own demise, and that's what we have in America. People have no fear of God. I do. Nothing sweeter than the tears of liberals. Yeah, I'm not a liberal. I am a conservative Christian. And I don't agree about Trump not keeping his word about prices going down. I don't understand that food has gone up, gas has gone up. Well, when we get the war straightened out, then prices will go down. And yeah, asshole. Look at that asshole. Trying to. Yeah, there's a lot of wicked people, and they probably. Welcome to America. Now there's accountability here. I'm giving you some accountability, telling you the honest truth about things. So let's get 200 likes. We got 189. Let's get 200 likes and stay positive. Okay. Hey, thank you. I try to. I pray a lot. So, go vote November 3rd. Contact all. Beats bought elections. Friends calling friends beats bought elections. Ask your friends to contact all. Even if we don't win, your vote's not lost, because we get enough votes to put political pressure on their meat grinding machine that's going to put you in prison. So go vote and ask other people to vote. And ask them to ask other people to vote, to put political pressure on the establishment. So somebody send a message chat and I'll read it. Subscribe and send a message chat and I'll read it. And let's see if we've covered everything I wanted to cover. Still have almost 200 people in here still. So, I'm not going anywhere till the views get over 200. So, thank y'all for showing up and watching the show. Got any new questions? I won't change in law enforcement. They are killing and getting away with it. So, we're going to be next Thursday. Next Thursday, we're going to be at the Police Benevolence Association in Nashville. They have asked me to come to speak before them. They're going to endorse a candidate for governor, and they politely offered me to come and show up and try to convince them that they should endorse me. So pray for me. Everybody on here that's for me, and even if you're not, pray for me Thursday that God will bless me and that the Police Benevolence Association, who I endorse, that they endorse me for candidate of governor of state of Tennessee. I'm going to ask them if they will let me record the conversation with them. So I might broadcast it live. If they don't want me to, I won't. But they've asked me about 7 questions, which are really great questions. And I support the Police Benevolence Association. When I was in law enforcement, they helped me, an organization that is pro-police, and I'm pro-police, pro-officer on the ground, the bottom of the rung, and that's what I am. They provide legal counsel for officers accused of crimes and wrongdoing, and I'm 100% behind the agency. So pray for me as I go talk to them Thursday. Pray that God will work out a miracle. At 3:30 Thursday, I'll be before the Police Benevolence Association in Tennessee, the Tennessee PBA, and they got 7 questions that I'm going to answer, and I'll tell you how it went after I go out, or maybe I'll ask them if I can record it live on my YouTube channel. They may or may not. If they don't, I'll respect that. They don't have to let me in the door. They've given me an appointment Thursday, this Thursday at 3:30 p.m. I'll be talking to them, trying to convince them to endorse me as their candidate for governor. And we'll show you the answers, try to film it live. So pray for me as I'm there. Pray for the hearts of these men in that meeting, that they will do God's will, do what's right, not necessarily what's politically correct at the time, what they believe, and support me as candidate for governor as we support the PBA. Now, whether or not they support me as a candidate for governor, I support the mission of the Police Benevolence Association. I just hope they make the right decision. So remember me in prayer Thursday as we go. They have cordially invited me. Now, I've been cordially invited to meetings before, and I'm going to be nice as I can be. And there'll be no violence, but I think these are former police and people that agree with law enforcement. So they'll probably be pretty polite, but if they aren't, I've got the answer for them. I'll tell them what I think, and it might not be very pretty. And I've told them that. You know, I told them on the phone, I've been cordially invited to meetings before, and y'all do your research. I'm not here, I don't go to places vote begging. I go to places and tell them the truth about people in government power. And it offends people, and they get mad and call the police and threaten me. Somebody sit down and shut up, and I'm not sitting down and shutting up. I don't have to, I'm not going to. And you're not big enough to make me. Let me assure you, I'm going to defend myself. I don't need permission from the government to defend myself. So pray for me, pray for their hearts, that they'll be receptive of the truth and endorse me to be their candidate for governor on the ballot 2026. That will help the cause, get us a lot of votes. And I promise them I will try to be a good representation for them. We've got 193 likes. Let's get 7 more and we'll get the heck off here. Still got over 135 people on here. Thank y'all so much. So pray and support me in my effort to get the Police Benevolence Association behind me. We'll support police, good, hardworking police at the bottom. We got a lot of great ideals to get guilty people in jail, not you, guilty people, and get a lot of people in government power behind bars, and get rid of bad police officers. And mostly bad police officers at the top of these administrations are the problem. I'm not so much worried at the bottom of the rung. I'm concerned about people high up in the rank. The higher up in rank, the more crooked they get. Usually your bottom patrol officer, the bottom end of the scale, is not the problem. So almost 200 people in here, 193 likes. Give me a few more likes and some shares. We may have a show later on tonight. We're going to experiment with doing shows in the evening too, to get rid of qualified immunity for them. I agree with that to an extent. Let's get rid of qualified immunity for the upper echelon, the sheriffs, the chiefs, the lieutenants, the captains, the majors. Let's get rid of qualified immunity for them. How about that? Don't worry about the rank and file police officers. If they want them gone, qualified immunity don't make a damn. They don't really have qualified immunity. It's the people at the top. Now you have these people in these police audits that are getting body cameras, and they're getting rid of police officers all day long based on rigging up what the camera says. What about the captains and the people at the top of these organizations? Wow, over 200 people still. It's people at the top of these organizations that don't have body cameras on them, that are lying every day and facilitating falsehoods against you, that are at the top of the organizations that don't have body cameras on them. Let's put body cameras on the chief in his meetings with other supervisors. Let's do it. What about body cameras for that? People overlook that. I've been in law enforcement agencies all my life. The problem is not the officers on the street substantially, that you see the body cameras and then they rig what's shown in the body cameras. The problem, and attorneys do this all damn day long. They see a body camera and they say, oh, that police officer hit my client one time too many. That doesn't matter. That's not excessive force. That's exploitation, exaggeration. That's a dirty lie. They hang out these bottom rung police officers all day long. The people at the top are laughing their asses off, saying, because the people at the bottom are there to get rid of. And then they say, yeah, we're doing right. See, look, we got rid of that bad police officer. They don't care about that. They don't care at all. They'll hang them out all day long, throw them under the bus, whoop, whoop. And people think the law enforcement agencies are working. No, they're not. Let's put body cameras on the upper brass. Watch what they're doing. Notice they don't have body cameras, or we could see the corruption that affects not just one individual that attorneys talk about, that affects mass society, the upper echelon. How about them? Let's put body cameras on the brass and make things more public. The upper echelon is the problem. Let's put a body camera on Colonel Matt Perry behind the scenes in his office, where women rubbing up on him, or at least the other colonel that's now deceased in his early age. You know, God judges people. Colonel Tracy Trotz. Let's put a body camera on the colonel so you can see him promoting people because they rub their boobs up against him. Let's put body cameras on that. But no, let's worry about rigged body cameras on the street officers that get rid of them all day long. Let's put body cameras on the brass, on Colonel Tracy Trotz. You can't now. And he lied about me, but I can't hear him saying anything about me now. Oh, yeah, he's dead. But I'm saying stuff about him. So who won that battle? I did. And Major Stacy Heatherly, who got promoted for dressing like a prostitute and sexually arousing the brass, so they promoted her all the way to Major, not for protecting you on the roads. Let's put body cameras on Major Stacy Heatherly, people like that go outside and smoke in no smoking areas and conduct covert operations. The brass, the higher echelon, let's put body cameras on them. Let's stop hanging out the street officer that's risking his life and start hanging out. The real problem is the upper echelon in law enforcement. How about that? How about that? So yeah, let's do that. Let's hang out the brass. So 196 likes, let's just get a few more. I got over 200 viewers in here still, or over 100 anyway. Let's keep watching the show. And again, dirty looks is not going to stop me from exercising the constitutional right. I'll look at you dirty too. And some of these people stupid as dumb as doorknobs. They want you to respect their rights, but they won't respect yours. And I don't need them to. Let's see, this doesn't sound very Christian-like of him. He's sounding awful prideful here, like his ego isn't really in check at all. It's wrong to brag about what you can do. I mean, if you won the NFL championship, It's wrong to say, look what I did. We got this, team. And it's not wrong to brag about stuff that you can do. That's good to tell the enemy that, hey, we're pretty powerful. We know what we're doing. Back down. That keeps you from going to war. It's called strength through power, peace through power. So, and I could care less. When I pray to God, your opinion of my relationship with God, you know how much that matters? Like zero. I don't have to come to you or your opinion to get to God. So, instead of criticizing me, maybe you ought to get down on your knees, or maybe you ought to get something you can brag about. So let's get together and vote. Contact all. Got 2 more likes and we'll have 200. So give me 2 more likes and 100 people in here almost. So we had to get off of the show with that many people on here. And I'll bet today we may have set a record, over 100,000 people. We'll try to have a show tonight, Unbridled News, and talk to you about some news things going on in the national government that make a huge difference. Overwhelming show today. Let me tell you from the bottom of my heart. I know there's a lot of haters in here, a lot of people that love me. 200 likes, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, Jesus loves you, and he died for you, and accept him into your heart. And even my enemies, even people that hate me. And this fight isn't between me and you, it's between you and God. Accept the Lord Jesus in your heart and ask him to forgive you, and then make things right. I hope you do that. If you don't, then me being nice to you and lying to you and telling you everything's okay, it's not going to make it better. It's not. My heart's right with God. Is yours. And I pray every day. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of what God's given you, the talents and abilities that you have. And I'll keep on using the talents and abilities that I have for the benefit of mankind. So thank y'all. Somebody give a paid chat so I'll read it. Even if you want to advertise for your show, I want to mention Euro and Travel, Tom and Graham. Great show, stands up for what's right, and kudos to him, young man that's got some fire in him. And so watch that show. And you don't know anything about my king. How do you know that? Who's your king? If it's Baal, I know he's a joke, because you can pray to him all day long, he won't do anything. And so yeah, I know that. So 201 likes. We're going to get the heck off here. May have a show tonight. We'll research some interesting news topics that are coming up. Get a few more likes in here. Thank y'all so much. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every last one of y'all. Thank you all so very much. We can make a huge difference. And God loves you, and I do too. Until next time.